ENT 110 students, here I am with chapter 5 video. So if you watch the chapter 4 video, right, this is week 3, chapters 4 and 5 for ENT 110. Next, what you will see in chapter 5 is identifying entrepreneurial opportunity. So one of the things, and I mentioned this in other courses, if you've had other course with me, is really thinking about an unmet need of either a community or of a specific demographic or of a target market, right? And then once you and identifying opportunity really for entrepreneurship. And so chapter 5 talks about entrepreneurial opportunity, researching potential business opportunities, and then doing a quick competitive analysis, right? Who is there anyone in that marketplace or near that marketplace? Or how easily could people jump in if they start to notice you are successful in your endeavor? All right. Let's look first at defining entrepreneurial opportunity. How do you think we might define entrepreneurial opportunity? Well, it really, one of the things, entrepreneurs are the ones that really bring new items to market, and they bring value into our local economy, right? They raise the standard of living by offering new choices for consumers, for businesses, and really that is the idea of pushing the marketplace forward, right? When we push the marketplace forward through entrepreneurial thinking, we're really kind of fleshing out old ideas and stale ways of doing things, stale products, and coming up with new, more innovative products that meet our needs better, or meet our needs based on changing times, right? And so it's very, that's really that entrepreneurial journey. The next slide, so we talk about Spanx, right? If you know that Spanx, it's like form-fitting clothing for women, and how a female started that business in an effort, Sarah Blakely, in an effort to provide products that allow women to fit more closely into a lot of the clothing that they own, right? And make them feel like the clothing is more flattering, right? And so she turned her $5,000 into a multi-million dollar company, really, through resilience and persistence. Okay. Be thinking about, like, in Erie, do you think it's a good time to start a business? Could you start a business right now in Erie? Do you have an idea? Maybe you're in the process of starting a business and that's something you want to share with us. This class is the class that you would want to bring that to fruition. And as we talk about developing a business plan outline, and I will probably do that the next week, since we have a virtual week class, I don't have to do that until at least week 4. Give you a little time to get your feet wet into the materials. And this idea of recognizing opportunities. So if you are not already thought of an idea that you might want to, pursue, for at least for this class, in theory, right? Pursue an idea that would be something that would be filling a need, or capturing an opportunity in our local, either within our own workplace, right? And we might find some ideas, or maybe within friends and family, you hear about things that they might find useful, and maybe you could figure out a way to provide those things, right? One of the things that we look for when different criteria are out there, we want to look at, is there a significant market demand in a certain area, right? We look at this Venn diagram and picture, or in figure 5.4, what's the market like? Is there a big enough market? Or are there only a handful of people that need the product or service? And then last but not least, are there significant margins and resources? So this is a funny one. I'll use an example that when all of the flipping houses became a thing, right? There were so many shows where people were flipping houses and making money, and I had people come to me that I was helping them with their portfolio and diversifying, and they would say, should I get into real estate? Should I get into maybe buying and flipping homes? And I would say, well, let's look at the margins, right? And so you buy a home in Erie for $100,000, and you do everything to it you possibly can. Completely redesign all the floors, you change the kitchen, you put in fancy countertops, fancy cabinets, you put in fancy bathrooms, and then you look at the top end of a neighborhood that it's located in, and you might sell it with all that stuff for $175,000. You bought it for $100, sell it for $175,000. Now, can you do all of the things you need to do to make that a top end home for less than $175,000, right? So that you make some profit. Whereas in other marketplaces where you see these shows filmed, they might buy a house for $300,000, and then once it's all fixed up, it might sell for $575,000, right? So the idea is they have a lot more wiggle room. Thus, they have a lot more margin. And so you want to make sure, I warned a lot of people about flipping homes in Erie because the margins are so slim. There's no room for error, and there's not really that much profit to be made because of the home prices in Erie. So that has to do with margins then when you're thinking about, that idea of margins. All right, small businesses, right? They have issues. So it's like 9 out of 10 businesses fail within that first 2 years. And they might because they have lack of experience in the business world, right? They might not have good working capital. They might be in a bad location, or they might just overall have low sales for whatever reason. They didn't, an entrepreneur didn't research the market like maybe they thought they had. Another reason might be poor inventory management, right? And a few other personal use of business funds, right? They get excited, they're making money, a business owner, and they might go out and spend it on something. So, there's a whole host. So review those different reasons why there are 10, why a small business might fail within those first few years. All right. And thinking about labor and really, why do people go into entrepreneurial endeavors, right? There's a lot of risks to be had. Well, a lot of people don't necessarily like working for somebody else. They don't mind putting the hours as long as it's their own business and they are reaping the rewards from those hours. All right, this chapter also starts to talk about a SWOT analysis, which if you've had any of my other classes, you kind of already know about the SWOT analysis. That's figure 5.9. And it really talks about some internal items and some external items. So internal, we see strengths and weaknesses. And often weaknesses are just things, they're strengths waiting to happen, right? We can take those weaknesses and flip them, figure out how to flip them and turn them into a strength. Then in opportunities and threats, those are external items, right? Opportunities that we could seize, threats that we see coming upon us. So the SWOT analysis is always important to do for an industry if you were thinking about entering into an industry. All right, so my video for Chapter 5 is quite short. So if you have questions about Chapter 5, make sure that you reach out to me when you're thinking about opportunity. But just start thinking about some of the opportunities that are in your life, opportunities that you see either at your business or you see possibly within family members or friends, things that they might need or want to make their lives easier, right? Whether it's a service or a specific product. As always, you can reach out to me, 814-490-6473. Shoot me a text. Or don't forget, you can always email me at crobertson@ec3pa.org.